All right, quick question. If your life stayed exactly the same for the next 5 years, would you be happy with that? Be honest. Same job, same income, same habits, same friends, same struggles. If the answer is no, then I've got news for you. What you're not changing? You're choosing. Now that might sting a little, but let's break it down. Every single day, you make choices, consciously or unconsciously. You either choose to take action, or you choose to stay the same. And not making a choice? That's still a choice. So many of us complain about things, but never actually do anything about them. Think about it. If you're in a job you hate, but you're not actively looking for something better, you're choosing that job. If you're out of shape, but you're not changing your diet or hitting the gym, you're choosing that body. If you're stuck in a toxic relationship, but you're not leaving, you're choosing that relationship. And if you're broke because you're spending every weekend partying with friends who are just as lost, waking up hungover instead of focused on your goals, you're choosing to sacrifice your future for temporary fun. Brutal? Maybe, but also empowering because it means you have control. Let's talk about it. Are you actually stuck or just comfortable? A lot of people say, I can't leave this job or I can't stop eating junk. But is it that you can't or that you won't? There's actually a term for this, status quo bias. Basically, our brains love staying in the comfort zone, even if that comfort zone is making us miserable. That's why people stay in bad relationships, dead-end jobs, unhealthy habits, because changing takes effort. But at some point, you have to ask yourself, is the pain of staying the same actually easier than the pain of changing? Because let's be real, if you're complaining about it, you probably already know the answer. Complaining feels productive, but it's not. We love venting. It feels good to say, my boss is the worst, or I really need to fix my sleep. But here's the thing. If talking about your problems fixed them, we'd all be millionaires with six-packs by now. If you're still complaining about the same thing you were a year ago, you don't have a problem, you have a pattern. Then there's the someday lie. I'll start working out next week. I'll quit after I save more money. I'll fix my diet when life slows down. Except, life never slows down. And next week somehow turns into next year. A Harvard study actually found that people think their future selves will be way more motivated than they are now. But guess what? Future you is just present you, but older. If you won't start now, odds are you won't start later either. Now, I'm not saying you need to quit your job tomorrow, move to Bali, and start a new life. But if you want things to change, it comes from small, consistent moves. Your life is a series of small decisions. It's the sum of your daily choices. You know that saying, Rome wasn't built in a day? Well, neither is the life you want. It's built in the small daily decisions that compound over time. James Clear in Atomic Habits talks about the 1% rule. Tiny improvements each day lead to massive results over time. Small, consistent moves. That's how things actually change. If you are struggling with money, just cut one unnecessary expense this month. That's money back in your pocket. Hate your job? Update your CV. Apply for one new role this week. Now let's say you start reading for 10 minutes a day. That's over 60 hours of reading in a year. Imagine what that does to your knowledge. That's a whole bookshelf of knowledge. Or if you cut 200 calories from your diet daily, that's 20 pounds lost in a year without drastic dieting. Small choices, big impact. You don't need a massive overhaul, just a small shift done consistently. Most people don't make a change because they think staying the same is the safe option. But actually, inaction has a cost, a big one. A study from Harvard Business Review found that people regret missed opportunities way more than mistakes they actually made. Why? Because lost time is irreversible. Think about it. 5 years from now, do you want to be saying, I wish I had started, or I'm so glad I did? Okay, so how do you break out of this cycle of passive choices? Well, it starts with awareness. Audit your life. Take a hard look at the areas where you're settling, your career, health, relationships, and finances. Write them down. Where are you unhappy but still choosing to stay the same? Then ask yourself, what's one small thing I can change today? Not next week, not next year, today. It doesn't have to be huge, just something that moves you in the right direction. Maybe it's sending out one job application, swapping soda for water, or putting your phone away 30 minutes before bed. And to make sure you actually follow through, I want you to set a 30-day challenge. Give yourself a deadline. Change needs momentum, and momentum comes from action. Start small, stay consistent, and watch what happens. Listen, life isn't about waiting for the right time. The right time is now. The moment you realize you're choosing your reality, you can start changing it. At the end of the day, if something in your life isn't changing, it's because on some level, you're okay with it. So ask yourself, what's the one thing you're done choosing? And what's one move you can make today? Because if you're not changing it, you're choosing it. Your life isn't just happening to you. It's happening because of you.